You should always satchel once and try to go for places with cover. For example, behind the pillar, you can always get info up the up left corner as well as health. Hello, my name is Sato. I am duelist for Leviatán. I know you guys been there before, playing alone without your duo, and then suddenly you have no util, no one's working well with you, and you're just out there dying alone. I've been there too. So today I'm going to show you some tips and tricks so you can play by yourself, not rely too much on your teammates. Now we're here on Ascent. I picked Jett as my duelist because it's the one that's picked the most in ranked, I believe. I'm gonna show you guys how to properly clear your angles and entry into site. What you guys need to understand first is that you as the duelist is supposed to be the person that takes the first contact. And to do that, you need to have the proper procedures, right? So when clearing angles, always be careful with your movement because it's what will help you to win most gunfights. So here in this position, you're supposed to clear it. Make sure that your shooting is aligned with your movement. So you cannot be shooting while walking because that'll mess everything up. Make sure your crosshair is in a good placement. Make it head level so that whenever you see someone, your crosshair is already on their head. No looking at their feet or something. You're interested in killing them and getting that ranked win. So whenever we're here on A main, make sure you're clearing everything. Normally people will stand here watching you. So this is a position that you should always be looking for. So whenever you're clearing this angle, do some white swing because that'll make your character go faster and make it harder for them to hit you. So let's say I cleared A main already, everything's cleared. So now it's the hard part, the bomb site. Because obviously, if you didn't see anyone here on A main, obviously there's gonna be someone inside here. So be careful. Whenever you're alone, whenever you're trying to entry, especially as Jett, throw a smoke on your feet, dash, and always try to look to your sides. So whenever you're dashing, dash and look right or dash and look left. So that way you can get some information off your dash and you're not just going into a smoke without like seeing anything and just praying that they're not close to you. Ideally, you should be able to dash and look both ways so that you're feeling safe, but it's kind of difficult for low sense players. So focus on getting one side cleared first. After that, stay in your smoke for as long as possible because after you get that first advancement, your team will probably do the second one. So whenever you dash first, even if you don't have flashes or anything like that, your teammates are probably gonna follow you through and try to fight first. Whenever they make that first fight, whenever they attract the attention of your enemies, that's where you're gonna leave your smoke and try to go for a kill. Now you must be wondering what to do with the other agents. I mean, it's really simple to do it with Jett. You just smoke your feet and then dash in it and then wait for your teammates. So let's now switch to Raze for an example. Okay, so in Raze's case, it's a little bit trickier because you don't have anything to make yourself safe. So whenever you're entering, just make sure that wherever you satchel to, you stay in a safe position. On split, for an example where I think Raze is really strong, you should always satchel once and try to go for places with cover. For example, behind the pillar, you can always get info up the up left corner as well as health. You can always see the enemy team's position and you're also not too exposed. Of course, it's a little bit difficult, but you should always aim to make yourself stay in a safe spot. Now as Phoenix, not as common as a choice as Raze and Jett, but you could always entry with any duelist as long as you do the proper procedures. Here, for example, a little gimmick for you guys is that Phoenix wall is really disruptive and it's really good for yourself because you can cross through it without taking damage. So in this case, let's say I want to hit the A side. I'm going to wall off here because I'm afraid of people holding me from this angle here or from elbow. So whenever you make these kinds of walls, you can always flash through it and cross. The people won't be expecting, and you're probably gonna get a free kill from it. Now, as Reyna, one of the most self-sufficient duelists in the games, and also probably your favorite duelist to pick on ranked, a gimmick that you can always do whenever your teammates are not helping you as much with utility, you could always use your leer to peek with it. There's a thing about Reyna that if you aim her eye closer to you, it pops faster in comparison to throwing it high. Look how different. Look how fast it is when you drop it on the floor close to you, and look how long it takes when you throw it up high. So one thing you can do, say someone is here, there, or there, you can always throw the leer on the ground. Since it's closer to you, it's gonna pop faster, and you can jump with it. Either they're gonna try and shoot it, or they're just trying to kill you, but they're already gonna be blind, so it's gonna be an easy kill for you. Now, I already told you guys how to entry making use of your own utility, but make sure to be aware of some cues that the enemy utility will give you so that you can get that opening kill. As an example, on split, most of the times if you have a Viper against you, they're gonna have their orb on mid, and whenever you apply pressure, they're gonna make it pop. What you can do through this Viper orb, obviously it is kind of risky and I don't advise you to do as much, but you could always cross it and try to go for a kill. Say someone is coming from vents and running fast towards B male and making a lot of noise. You could always use that timing you have because of the Viper orb. They're not expecting you to cross it, and get that kill of the guy not aware of that possibility. But one thing you also need to make sure of is how you behave after you get the bomb site. You cannot just go in and rush their CT spawn after you got the bomb down. That's just gonna limit you and bring down your chances of winning the round. What you want to do, however, is getting some spots on the bomb site where the enemy will not expect you, or even if they do expect you, they're gonna have issues clearing where you are. For example, on the A side, staying on elbow is a really pushed forward position. However, it alleviates a lot for your team because they know that no one can push screens without you knowing. Always make sure that whenever you're on site after the bomb is planted, make sure that you get some nice positions for yourself, but there's absolutely no need to push more forward than you need. Well, that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my teachings. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends.